Hi. Well, you stole some of my thunder. No, I'm kidding. I appreciate it. I'm honestly just so grateful to be on this Zoom tonight with people that clearly care about their communities and they care about this really important upcoming election. And I just love the mission of ReCenter because, as I have been saying all along, there are more of us in the middle than there are on the far right and the far left. So let me tell you a little bit about me. I often tell this story, but like my grandmother, I saw my husband off to war as well. And when he left for Iraq, we had three little kids in diapers. And the man of the house suddenly was a 6-year-old boy. So I often say, make no mistake, the spouse that keeps the family together is also in service to the military and the country. And honestly, why I'm kind of on this call tonight is because the community got behind us in so many unexpected ways that it really led me to want to serve and want to serve Indiana. So I've worked for a large company. I've owned a small business. And I am a passionate volunteer. Like you said, I'm an independent thinker. So during this campaign in particular, I deliberately have sought out probably more Republicans along the way than I have Democrats because I've wanted to understand the issues. I've wanted to really have a wholesome and complete perspective of what this job would entail. So the good news is that in my district, we're securing both Democratic and Republican votes. And that is very, very important to me. And I believe it's also why the state party kind of knocked on my door and asked me to consider running. So I'll talk about doors because after knocking on almost 10,000 doors, now Matt McNally has beat me on this so far, it is clear that Hoosiers want safe, they want vibrant communities, they want adequate infrastructure, and they want well-funded schools. And I intend to pursue that same thing over and over again as a state legislator. So I want to talk to you about kind of the two issues that I hear predominantly at the door. I hear predominantly at meet and greets. And let's talk about the first one because it's one that all of these candidates talk about a lot, and that is women's health. Now, this issue is deeply, deeply personal to me because out of my four amazing kids that I've got, three of them were conceived with IVF, actually in the same batch, if you want to get really technical about it. But I will forever be grateful for that intervention. And I will strongly advocate for Hoosiers to have the medical freedom that they deserve, which includes, honestly, the right to make their own healthcare decisions along with their doctors, their family, and their faith leaders. These decisions, these belong with families. They don't belong with the 150 legislators under the state capitol building. And as a state representative, I firmly, it's not, it's not my role to impose my values, my beliefs on someone else or make these personal decisions for somebody else or their loved ones. So I honestly, I will never support legislation that puts the health and lives of women at risk. My opponent, Becky Cash, has stated that she is 100% pro-life, life at conception, no exceptions, even for victims of rape and incest. And to me, that is 100% unacceptable and a blatant example of government overreach. Let's talk about the second thing I hear about at the door all the time. And I feel like I really knew my district before I started because these are predominantly the things that we hear at the door: women's health, public education. So we're hearing more and more about it. The voucher program. It originally started and was designed for 100% all of the right reasons to provide low-income kids whose families made less than 40 grand a year in underperforming schools access to the quality education that constitutionally we are required to provide. And it has since just evolved into kind of a government handout for all the wealthy families who were already sending their kids to private schools. So next year, if you want to think about that 40 grand issue, next year, a Hoosier family of four who makes nearly $250,000 can use taxpayer dollars to cover tuition at private schools, taking all that needed funding away from our public schools and our vibrant communities. And since 2017, and I'll just talk about my district, Hendricks County has lost $34 million. Boone County has lost $22 million. So let that kind of sink in. That's a shit ton of money. These schools are responsible for maintaining facilities, offering special education services, um, sports, extracurricular activities that our kids really love. And this just has honestly gone too far. The supermajority at the Statehouse is now pushing to extend that same level of funding to homeschoolers with absolutely no insight whatsoever. So I think Josh alluded to this as well, but I chose this area for the schools and the excellent public school system and the education that my kids could get. And I am proud that all four of my kids have gone through the public school system. I am not an empty nester yet. I'm getting close. I have two seniors left. But if we really truly care about fiscal responsibility, which I think all of the candidates do on this call tonight, then we aren't okay with public funds going to private schools with absolutely no oversight whatsoever. I mentioned that I've really sought out different opinions, and that's leaders across both parties. I don't think it's healthy to surround yourself in an echo chamber and like-minded individuals. So I sincerely, I want to know the issues on all sides. And Josh has alluded to this as well. I think it's the reason why we're on this call, but we need to bring balance back to the state house. And even Mitch Daniels, the former governor of Indiana, wrote an op-ed piece in the Washington Post recently that indicated that supermajorities are not serving any Hoosiers well. And that says a lot coming from him. So Indiana clearly is at a crossroads for public education, women's health. These decisions will impact millions of kids, millions of women, and it's critical that we really get some control of this. So in 48 days, we all have a part to play, not just the candidates on this call. Every single one of us has a part to play, and that is getting people to show up. It's not enough just for you to show up. Everybody has to show up, and that means bringing your neighbor, bringing your elderly grandmother, bringing your kids, bringing your coworkers. It means having those really tough conversations. I mean, we have a binary choice in every district. In my district, you can vote for me or you can vote for Becky Cash and keep her in office. But I will be the one that protects our public school dollars instead of subsidizing private education. I will be the one that protects women's rights and what to do with her body. My opponent clearly opposes medical freedom for women. I will reduce things like the gas taxes, and I will even encourage a pay-free zone for, or pay freeze for legislators because my opponent decided, to raise the gas tax and her own salary. I certainly appreciate everyone's time tonight. I ask for your vote and I ask for you just to talk to people. There are candidates on this call. Share our social media posts, talk about us. That's what we need in order to win this. And I leave you with this one last thing because it is very ReCenter. I sleep with a Republican every night and I have for 28 years. And so if I can have constructive debate underneath my household and this roof, I surely can do that at the Capitol House or at the Capitol building. So thank you so much.